I dated a therapist who told me she was pregnant on our first date. Then her parents showed up. Never sleep with crazy, the cop said, handing back my license, but definitely never sleep with crazy who has access to prescription pads. I was pulled over doing 58 in the 35 zone at 11 p.m. on a Thursday, desperate to get as far away as possible from what had just become the most terrifying first date of my life. 3 hours earlier, I'd been nervously fixing my hair outside Mutton's Italian, preparing to meet Megan. She was a licensed therapist with kind eyes and her profile pictures and a bio that said she helps others heal for a living. After my divorce finalized last summer, this was my first real date in 8 years. Megan looked like her photos panned, her shoulder-length brown hair, professional dress, warm smile. The first red flag appeared exactly 7 minutes into our appetizer. I can't wait to tell you I am pregnant, she said, casually spearing at calamari. My fork froze midway to my mouth. I am sorry, she laughed. Not yet, silly, but I've always wanted 4 kids before 35 and I am already 29, so we should probably start trying next month. Before I could respond, she waved excitedly toward the restaurant entrance. Perfect timing. They're here. 2 middle-aged people approached our table, parent or parents. Apparently parent, who proceeded to sit down and order entrees as if this had been the plan all along. We're so happy Megan's finally found the one, her mother said, reaching across to squeeze my hand. She's been showing us her pictures for weeks. We'd matched on Hinge 4 days ago. Her father ordered a bottle of champagne to New Beginnings and to our future son-in-law. I shot a pleading look at our waitress, who seemed to recognize my silent cry for help and strategically delayed bringing the check for what felt like eternity. When dinner finally ended, they invited me back to their house for homemade pumpkin pie. Against all logic and self-preservation instincts, I went partly out of shock, partly because I couldn't figure out how to escape without causing a scene. As I was finally making my exit from their house, Megan's mother hugged me tightly and whispered, "We're just so relieved she's found someone stable. After being committed 3 times last year, we weren't sure she'd ever settle down." The world stopped. Committed, as in, oh, the psychiatric holds were just precautionary, she waved dismissively. The restraining orders from her exes were completely unnecessary. That's when Megan wrapped her arms around me from behind, whispering, "I love you so much. I've never been so sure about anyone in my life." I mumbled something about an early meeting, practically ran to my car and peeled out of their driveway panner, which led to my conversation with the traffic cop, who seemed far too familiar with this exact scenario. The next morning, I had 31 missed calls, 14 voicemails, and a work email from an address I didn't recognize. "Why didn't you say you love me too?" She'd somehow found my workplace. By afternoon, she was in our lobby with flowers. By evening, she'd friend requested my sister, mother, and ex-wife on Facebook. The messages grew increasingly desperate. "We need to get engaged before my birthday. I promised my therapist I wouldn't fail again." The irony that she was a therapist herself wasn't lost on me. It finally ended when I emailed her a setter of her state licensing board's ethics complaint form. But sometimes when my phone rings from an unknown number, I still feel that flash of terror, and that, my friends, is why I deleted all my dating apps and got a very large dog instead.